I have decided to do my project on the issue of gun control, whether that be the side that thinks that it should be harder to get and more restricted and that they are bad for society, or the opposing sides or the other side to gun control, which is that they're vital, necessary, and needed for safety. The first lie is about the competing positions, which I just went over. One side believes that guns are dangerous and should be banned, and the other thinks that it's in the Constitution and is for safety. The side that believes that guns are dangerous and should be banned, they mainly think this based off the deaths that occur and when the guns get in the wrong hands of the wrong people and they use them for the wrong reasons, like to scare people or to, I mean, really just hurt them. And the side that thinks that it's in the Constitution is for safety, uses it, probably has concealed carry permits, uses it when they feel endangered, typically only see guns being used in a safe manner. Maybe they're hunters, maybe they're ex law enforcement, but they definitely think that the guns are necessary. This relates to political ideology from the textbook, which is shown via like the Democrat versus Republican partisanship. Republicans are typically more for freedom and less government intervention, while the Democrats will prefer more government intervention and the public safety. And it says that in the textbook. That was quoted from the textbook. Public opinion on this, it tends to stay with the political parties. Like I just said, the Republicans and the Democrats have their own opinion. The Republicans are typically more towards the freedom and letting people have guns, and Democrats are typically more for the gun control. And in the textbook, it does say that people will take a stance on an issue based on their political party. Yeah, that's really it for that one. Political parties, the next one, like I just said, Republicans tend to be for less government intervention and to allow people to have their Second Amendment, while the Democrats perform more gun control and less guns. Um, Political parties, this relates back to the textbook because they provide a linkage between voters and elected officials, helping to tell voters what candidates stand for and providing a way for voters to hold their officials accountable for what they do, both in office and individually. Um, so it relates because people are able to be like, oh, he's a Republican. He probably thinks this and this on gun control, so I'm going to vote for him, or he's a Democrat, so he's going to have these certain views on gun control, so I'm going to vote for him. So it just allows that linkage, and that's how that can relate back to our textbook. Interest groups. This is probably my favorite one um, of this PowerPoint so far. So, an interest group for gun control, like it says on the slide, is the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. Um, that interest group, I think, does a very good job at what they do. They aim to pass gun safety legislation, and the leader has a background in trauma surgery. Dr. Joseph Sakran, he's a gun violence survivor and a surgeon. So he's very qualified he's a very qualified leader of this, and I think he does a very good job at getting what he wants and working with the government to try to make changes for what he wants. The interest group for the gun rights or for against gun control is going to be the NRA, the National Rifle Association. They're a major lobbying group and an advocate for gun rights, and they oppose stricter gun control legislation. Um, it's kind of just like what it sounds. They're basically just like the opposite to the Brady campaign. Um, like they think it's safe for safety. They typically will open carry rifles around public places, just displaying their freedom. They're just against it. Um, Participation is going to be for the Brady group. They participate in the citizen participation that goes beyond voting in periodic elections. They're a mechanism for people sharing the same interests or pursuing the same policy goals to pool their resources and channel their efforts for a collective action. Um, and the NRA is going to be more education. Um, they educate policymakers regarding issues that are important to the guns. Media coverage. Um, it's they set agendas and they frame the issue like it's. I mean, it says on the slide. And they pick what they like, and they want the show to set a certain narrative, and that narrative is that guns are bad. Um, but with this media, they don't do a very good job at showing the good side of guns. They typically only show the bad side, and they cherry pick bad situations where people get hurt. In the textbook, it says this with agenda setting. They define for the public the relative importance of an issue through the amount and prominence of coverage it receives. That's a quote from the textbook. I mean, they do a very good job, and they do a very good job at pushing their agenda. My works cited page, all two of them I got from the PowerPoint itself, and then two I looked up for myself. But they are very good sources. They helped with a lot of everything. They helped with my the Brady group and the NRA. Gave me a lot of information about those.